All right guys, in this video, we're gonna show you how to build a simple DIY planter box. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a puppy. This is a super fun, easy project. Let's dive into it. You're watching TMBRMAN TV. All right, so we're in Lowe's. I got these fence pickets here out of cedar, which is a great exterior wood. And I got, let's see, 2, 4, 6 of them is gonna make one planter box at about just under $3 a pop. So if my math serves me correctly, we're right about 20 bucks to get a planter box made. So let's go do it. All right, we're in my shop and I have 6 cedar 1x6 boards that we're gonna make an awesome planter box out of, and at least triple your money if you wanna sell these, or if you just want a DIY project for the weekend, this is a great way to do it. I think this cost me right at $20 to get these boards, and we're gonna make a pretty sweet planter box. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a 4-sided rectangular box, 2 high. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get my length here, and I think we're gonna make some 4-footers, some nice big boxes. So let's do this. Mark 1, take it over to our chop saw and get that cut. All right, now I want to teach you a little trick on a chop saw real quick. Leave your board where you cut it, and if you have one of these miter saw tables, I'm going to create a stop over here so that I can just put the rest of the boards right up to this and know exactly where to cut. Take a couple clamps, clamp something down, doesn't have to be a square. Just something that's going to give a nice edge here on your miter saw table. So now as I grab a new board, I can just line it right up, touching that, and it's going to be a perfect cut every time. So let's cut 3 more of those to get 4 total. I'm gonna set it down here, square to my fence, then butt it up. But I want to show you something. This is a factory cut, so you can see my square is obviously straight, but from the mill it wasn't square. So we need to first square that up. All right, so now we have a nice square edge. Again, we're getting to our fence and then butting right up. That's much better. Now we have 4 cut out the same size, which is going to be our 2 longer walls. Now I need the 2 short end walls, which I'm going to see if I can't get out of this scrap right here. So I actually have 2 feet left on my scrap pieces, and I'm going to cut them down to 1 foot each. That way I have use of my scrap material. Another way you can make quick cuts is butt up the piece that you cut with the new piece on the end here, and then make sure you're holding that in place. And you could do that as well. I don't like that method as well as clamping something down, but it does work. All right, so we have our 4 side rails, and then these 2 smaller pieces are gonna be both of the ends. And what I need to do is actually put a piece down on each end of the long rails and brad nail and glue those together. What I'm doing is actually measuring, and I'm gonna rip down little pieces that I can use in here with my same scrap material. So for instance, this is one of those smaller rip down pieces that's gonna go right here on the inside. All right, so now I have all 4 of these cut out. 2 are gonna go on this end, and 2 I'm gonna brad nail over to that guy. If you don't have one, I love using my battery powered brad nailer. It's just a lot easier to not have to have that hose tangled up every which way. You notice I'm alternating which direction the nails are going in. Now that we have those nailed off to our ends, we can stand these walls up just like that. You can start to see this planter box coming together. So now we need to attach our other 2 1-foot side walls. All right, so now we have our basic box put together, but this thing's hollow. So we need to put a base in place so that all our dirt doesn't just fall right out. What I'm gonna do is flush the bottom up right here and then come onto the other side and make a scribe mark right where I need to cut it underneath. All right, now that we have both those cut, I'm gonna come back with this brad nailer and nail that off on the bottom. All right, now we have the bottom done, so we can flip this guy back over to the top, and you can see in here, it's gonna hold a lot more in, but it's kind of basic. I mean, you could roll with this just as it is. However, I wanna take it a step further and do a little distressing and have some fun with this. Something that you can definitely try at home in your garage or in your shop. See how you like how it turns out. All right, so with that hand torch, I just barely went over this cedar. Again, it's gonna darken up super quick. Cedar is already a great material for exterior, but there is a technique called Shashugi Bond. It's hard to say, but it actually protects the wood when you char it in this fashion. So you can do this, you don't have to, but it's another way to get just a different, more rustic look on this planter box.
Do you recommend that people use that high-speed torch?
No, that one was a little bit intense. All right, and then to fill that gap on the bottom, I'm gonna take 2 more of my scrap pieces and go ahead and nail them off right there. So the inside is completely sealed using our scraps. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this. That's a super fun, easy project to build. You can definitely sell these online or just decorate your own property. If you're subscribed, thank you. If not, please subscribe to this channel, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time on TMBRMAN TV.